So raise your hand if you've ever felt like there aren't enough hours in a day to get the things done that you need to get done. Look, I see you. I've been there too. In fact, recently. And today I want to validate the very real struggles that many of us face trying to manage overload and conflicting schedules and everything that's going on in our lives between work demands, family needs, home obligations, and trying to care for ourselves. Well, what's that? Finding time for it all can feel actually impossible. I'm telling you, this leads to that avalanche of stress and overwhelm, anxiety, exhaustion, and the sense that you're always behind. Do you feel it? Do you feel me? I want you to know that you are not alone. Our traditional time management strategies, for most of us, they don't work in times like this with the nonstop demands and evolving social climate that we live in. They have disrupted everything. Everybody needs a piece of us for some reason or another. But the good news is that we can feel empowered even even in imperfect circumstances by adjusting one thing, our mindset. I'll be sharing with you today three simple practical techniques for taking control of your schedule even when it feels out of control. So are you ready? Hey, I'm Michelle O'Neill, your emotional wellness coach. Emergency too, but I am your emotional wellness coach, and you are on the meeting place. I am so happy to see you today. And so my goal is to help you feel validated and to offer actionable solutions. Now, although I can't be with you actually in person, I am with you right there in the comments. So make sure you give me comments and your insights today. So, back to this time management thing, right? Now, traditional time management strategies like rigid schedules, detailed how to do list, guilty. And timer apps don't work right now. We have them, we still use them, but they don't work. How often do you have the time to get to this list? Or how often do you get time to even put things on the list? How many things do you forget that you have to do because you haven't had time to stop and put them on the list? Whew. Between ever increasing work demands, family needs, home obligations, I've said this, and trying to care for ourselves, finding time for it all is downright impossible. This avalanche that we have of responsibilities, it leads to profound overwhelm, soaring stress, and the constant sense that you're drowning and always behind. Do you feel like you're about to go under? I know the feeling. And I know exactly how it feels because I've been there too. In fact, just recently, 2 weeks ago, I think it's been 2 weeks ago, I had the distinct pleasure of taking care of four of my grandgirls. My grandson wasn't here, but the girls were. And it was great. I loved having them here. But it turned my schedule upside down. And the things that I would normally do or how I would normally do those things, little OCD, just changed and turned my world upside down. And so, how did I deal with this? My schedule was no longer my schedule. When you have 2, 3 year olds, the twins, and they still need changing or help going to the restroom, everything stops to help them. And when you have to make sure that everything is fed, when your household go from 2 to 6, everything changes. And most of them have different, not demands, different diets because of some reason or other. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Although I loved it, my world turned upside down. And the truth is, many of us feel that we're failing at time management right now. But in reality, we're up against systematic issues and social pressures. And that extends far, 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 far beyond our individual capability. It's not a personal failure. And so you're asking, how did I deal with that? I actually decided first, and these aren't the solutions, but I want you to know I decided what was most important. I don't get those four often. And so I knew that even though I had to take care of you right now, I am in the middle of a launch for an amazing 2-day live workshop. And I have a lot of stuff that needs to be done for that. But they were more important. And so I had to push things aside. I had to make sure that I was more focused when I did have time, but they were the most important for me then. And so I made sure that I made time for them too. Now you're probably saying, yeah, that's easy for you. And I had to make time for my mom too, because when she calls, I know that she needs my attention. And so the good news is, even when we're up against forces beyond our control, we can feel empowered by adjusting what? Our mindset. Yes, it sounds easy, but it's not. But it is simple. And I'm going to share with you three powerful techniques to take control over your schedule when it feels anything but being able to be controlled, right? Okay. So here are the three things. First, I want you to acknowledge. I want you to acknowledge that unhelpful thought pattern that you have right now in your life. You know, that negativism, negative Nelly that says there aren't enough hours in the day, or I'll never get it done. Well, you're right. You probably won't get it all done. Hey, let's be realistic. And the hours are the same day in and day out. There are 24 hours in a day. So if you can't get it done in 24 hours, you're not going to get any more. Hey, that's life. Those are beyond your control and you can't change that. And so thinking that just exacerbates feelings of stress and being overwhelmed. So I say first, acknowledge, hey, this is the way I feel. Are those thoughts good? No. Are those thoughts negative? Yes. Let's acknowledge it. Now, number two, adjust. Actively adjust those thoughts. Turn it around. For example, replace, I don't have no time. I'll never have time with, I can make time for what's most important. Remember, I just told you about my granddaughters? I knew that it was important to spend the time with them because I only had them for 6 days. Whew, 6 long days. But I loved it because I got to have great conversations with them that just over the phone you don't have. And so you have to actively adjust those thoughts of I don't have time, that I can make time for those things that are most important. Those four girls, my husband, my mother, myself. Or you can say, I can only do what's in my control. If you have to go to work and at that time you can't be with them, make sure you set up something that can take the place of you. You're not all that. So when I couldn't be there, my elder granddaughter took care of it. She's 15. My husband took care of it. I won't tell you he's his age. But anyway, the thing is, everything that is out of your control, you can't change. And the third thing, actualize those constructive thoughts. What am I saying? Is make them happen. Make those constructive thoughts happen in your mind and in your life by supporting them with daily, whether it's daily affirmations or vision boards, with aspirational quotes, with mindful practices, with sticky notes all over the place on your what's this thing called, on your screen, on your I can't, on your monitor, whatever it is, on your phone, sticky notes. But actualize those constructive thoughts by supporting them, because what happens is when you support them, when you write them down, when you journal with them, you're creating a habit in your mind to remember, instead of this thought, hey, I'm going to pull this one in, we're going to stop that one and embrace this new thought. Hey, I'm going to do what's most important for me. Now, let me demonstrate for you how this exact process helped me personally. Now, I just told you about my granddaughters, but it helped me personally transform any defeating thought into a much more empowering one. So, like I said, I felt completely overwhelmed trying to balance being with them, working, making sure that I made the deadlines that I had for this launch, taking care of my husband, taking care of the meals, taking care of the bathroom needs, and all that, and being there for my mom when she called. And I was riddled with thoughts like, this ain't happening. Whew. I- Something's just got to drop. Something's not going to get done. But you know what? The things that I did let drop, the world didn't fall apart and nobody missed me. And things went on just like they normally would. And so instead of being riddled with thoughts like, I'll never get this done, there aren't enough hours in the day, and making myself feel defeated and totally out of control, which I know I didn't have control, but it's funny. Isn't it funny how we think we need to fix something and be in control when we have no control over a situation? And so what I did is I actively started noticing those thoughts. Girlfriend, why are you letting yourself go there? And rewriting them actually on paper, but not only on paper, in my head. And instead of I don't have the time, I told myself I can make time for what's important. Those little girls are important. That big girl is important. Letting my husband know that I value him and that I value our time together is important. And letting my mom know that when she calls, if she needs me, I'm there. That's what was important. And so making time to do specific things with them was important. And so I replaced my thoughts with things like, I'll break these tasks down to manageable tasks. I'll make the time. I have this amount of time. I have this slot of time. What can I get done in this slot of time? And I did it. I did it with absolute focus because I would talk to the grandkids and I say, hey, I need an hour. I said, give me an hour or I have to be on this call. And when I finish, I'll come back down. I need an hour and then we'll go out and take a walk. Whatever it was, I made the time for them, but I also set those boundaries for the things that I need to do. And I took those small, actionable steps. I broke those tasks down in a way that I was able to get things done in blocks of time. I also wrote these new thoughts that I had, this new way that I decided I would handle it. I wrote it down on my sticky notes. Block out time for this, do this. And I had it all around my desk. I don't put them around my house, but I put them around my desk. And I made sure that on my phone, let me see if I can show you. I always have uplifting verses or uplifting little quotes. And so within that 2 weeks, over the time that they were with me, even halfway through the time that they were with me, I noticed a huge shift. I felt empowered and not overwhelmed. I felt like I had a handle on it and I was able to prioritize and delegate tasks to them. Hey, I can't do this. Can you handle this for me? And be effective in their lives. And I stopped feeling behind. And while the external pressures did still, still grow and they didn't change, my mindset did. And I realized that I had the power, me, over my thoughts, which also gave me power over my schedule. And girl, it was so liberating. So the key is to catch those unproductive thoughts and purposely reshape them. It takes practice, but pays off tremendously. Look, the three tips. Now, I don't know how I put up four fingers. I meant 8 fingers. But I want to quickly go over the three techniques that I talked about because I don't want you to forget it. I want you to acknowledge those unproductive thought patterns and thoughts that you have and stop them. I want you to, when you stop them, adjust those thoughts with empowering replacements. Replace them with things that you can hold on to. Write it down, not just in your memory, but on paper. Put it on a sticky note, put it on your monitor or somewhere on the mirror in the bathroom. And then I want you to actualize these new thoughts by supporting them through regular affirmations or declarations or whatever it is you need to make them a habit in your life. Putting these into practice can actually help transform these feelings of overwhelm into a sense of control over your schedule, even when facing insurmountable, immense demands in your life. Your thoughts drive your actions. So take power over your mindset and you take power over your time. I know it's not that easy, but it's doable. Look, if I offer to show you how to manage stress and build resilience in just 2 days without ongoing exhaustion and isolation, especially as being a caregiver for your kids and your loved ones, your aging loved ones, so that you can actually feel refreshed and recharged and be at your best, would you be interested? Is this something that you feel that you're ready to grasp onto? So if you want to go deeper, be sure to check out. Remember, I talked about this workshop. Be sure to check out my upcoming workshop, No Time to Waste. How perfect. No time to waste. And it's happening in just a few days. Remember, I said just about 9 or 10 days, and the early bird pricing will be going away. So I want you to grab your spot today and you'll learn more tools, more tips to mastering scheduling and overcoming overwhelm. And let me put this up here. Look, go ahead and hit https://workshops dot mondaymastery.life. It's up here. I'm going to leave it up here for a minute so that if you need to write it down, if you need to click on it, whatever you need to do, it's there for you. Look, I said that so many times now. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Even though I'm not there with you physically on screen, I am there in the comments. I want to know. I want to know what touched you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I hope you feel more empowered to take control of your schedule. You can, even when it feels overwhelming. Keep sharing in the comments. Remember, I want to have that conversation with you. Any defeating thoughts that you may have, I want you to share with me in the comment so that I can help you rewrite your next thought. Today, I want to leave you with this. You know, I have to leave you with the thought. Your schedule doesn't control you. Mm-mm. You control your schedule. I want you to hear that again. You control your schedule by controlling your mindset. Stay empowered. Be strong. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.